People converge at places of worship for different reasons. The common one is prayer. But many also come here to seek solutions when they are afflicted by many life-threatening problems. It is the place where one would want to entirely surrender to the realm of God. 10 years ago, an identified person brought a 1-week-old baby and dumped it at the steps of Namirembe Cathedral. The Christians here took this child to an orphanage in the neighborhood. And 2 years later, a Ugandan couple offered to foster this child. But 8 years down the road, this child was dumped yet again at the office of the probation officer in Rubaga. This is the story of little Zoe. We now try to follow the trail of little Zoe. It is here in Rubaga, Kampala, where the foster papers were signed with the approval of the Rubaga Division probation officer. You could say little Zoe was unlucky. She had been rejected by her biological parents. 8 years later, she was also rejected by the family that had fostered her. Kenneth Uganda and his wife, Kathy, welcomed Zoe to their orphanage, Heart of a Child. This facility handles children from 0 to 6 years, but Zoe is now 10 years old. So even here she could not fit. The Ugandas opened their private home to the girl.
And to our surprise or dismay, this child is the most loving, disciplined, caring child that you can imagine.
Being the mother of the home, Kathy Uganda has been closer to Zoe in the last couple of months. So I ask, what kind of child is she?
When they are together, you hear the jiggles, you hear the exchange of laughter, you hear the exchange of information, helping each other with homework, arguments of it's my turn to be in the bathroom, it's your turn, normal things that kids do. I've not seen the weird part.
Since Zoe had gone through a traumatic experience of being abandoned twice, the Ugandas sought the services of a counselor in Mukono, Sarah Wesonga.
From her appearance, she looks like a sweet girl, but sadness was written all over her face. First of all, she was frightened. I was supposed to have a one-on-one session with her, but because she was frightened of me being an adult, I brought her little friend Karen along, and the first thing I did was to have an emotional therapy.
Her findings are startling. She says Zoe is not very free to open up to adults at the moment. I tried to get in touch with Zoe's first foster mom. She's not ready to appear on camera, but in a phone interview she says letting Zoe go was a difficult decision.
You know, I'm overcoming and my family a painful decision that I made. Because of that, Patrick, I'm not going to give you any other information about that child.
But have these parents committed a crime? I take this question and more to Isaac Obiro of Ekirap and Company Advocates.
This couple that have now determined that they cannot continue with this child and had not signed the adoption papers are at liberty by law to return the child, and you can't ask them why.
But another lawyer, Victoria Katamba, gives a whole different perspective and pokes holes into the government system or even the lack of it.
We have made progress. There have been some achievements in some of those departments over the years, between 1996 to date. But the system is still so riddled with many problems. It is almost not there. Probation officers need facilitation to go and check on children placed either in approved homes or with foster care parents. And in most cases, they will only check on those children who are fostered with a view to adoption.
The Assistant Commissioner for Children in the Ministry of Gender, Kabogoza James, knows about this case.
But in this instance, we have had problems. Rubaga has had a change of probation officers. And, you know, in some instances, they haven't handed over. So it is likely that actually they didn't hand over this particular case. So the case is paid with this family, and then after some time, the family brings back the child. Because they had fostered the child, they had not adopted it. They had to bring it back to the probation office so that they look for other parents.
Ugandans are known to be hospitable people. But how can we walk the talk for the sake of the children?
We should be working together to promote the supremacy, the paramountcy of the child's best interest.
This sad journey of little Zoe points to just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the facade of a loving and caring nation are children with real horror tales. I'm Patrick Kamara.